All right, my friends. Here we are, episode 15. That's 15 with my guy J.Sticks. Man, this guy is man. I don't know. He's the people's champ, I guess you could say. He is running a guild called New Player Services, which we're going to get into, of course. But the sole focus is just helping new players out. But honestly, before we get into all that, man, I mean, J Sticks, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
All right. Well, off of Outlands, I've been a certified welder for about 11 years now, going on 12 years. I work at a job to where I'm a floor trainer. So anyone that comes in from our welding school, they come to me and I train them on everything: blueprints, welding practices, you name it.
Hmm.
So that's kind of what I do off the side of Outlands, and then I own a classic car, so of course I go to a lot of car shows and stuff like that with it.
So you're real into cars, huh?
Yeah, I own a '63 Bel Air four door with a 283 with open headers. So
Okay.
this thing is like aggressively loud.
Yeah. So my
So,
brother, when I was young, my
yeah.
brother had a '64 Chevy. It was
Mm-hmm.
blue, and he put some real loud. I don't know what they are, man, but
Cherry bomb.
Flowmasters or something on
Yeah.
there, and they were. Oh, you'd hear him coming a mile away, man. But that truck was so cool, dude. And so I have an appreciation for older cars. So that's really cool indeed, man. So what wait, have you just always been into cars, or?
Yeah, my dad was in the cars when he was in high school. So my first car, or actually my first older vehicle was a '86 Ford F350 3/4 ton 460 big block, four to the floor. That was my first time I ever learned how to drive stick, and then I transferred that from that to a '88 IROC Camaro with T tops. Man, that thing was.
Oh,
I wish I kept it right now. I really
yeah.
did. I really wish I kept it.
Dude, late
I
80,
did.
early 90s Camaros are like they're probably one of the coolest cars. Like that
They are.
yeah, it's just so cool. And you had T-tops too, which makes it even cooler, man. Um, you know,
That always leaked. That always leaked. They always leaked.
well, you know.
It was a leak. It always leaked.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
And
Those were fast cars, man, and they just sure did they look cool.
yeah, I mean, the Iraq that I had, it came with a 350 LT1 block straight from an '88 Corvette. But then unfortunately, I drained oil out of it, and then my brother drove it and blew up the entire motor.
Oh,
So that wasn't good. So my dad went ahead and bought a LT2 boarded, stroked over, port and polished 50 over to a 400 block with 3-inch flow master exhaust on that thing, and that thing was
vroom, vroom.
yeah. I like honestly say I couldn't like I turned into a lead foot.
Yeah,
So, but ever since then, man, I've always been in the classic cars.
that's
Always.
cool. That's cool. So you go to quite a few shows. You know, out here, and they have this. I don't. They call it the cruise, if I remember right. But it
Yeah.
just a bunch of old cars just go down the road, man, and people will sit out in lawn chairs during this event, and they just go
Yeah.
down the road, and it's not like the street is closed or anything, but it's an event, and like I said, man, there's just hundreds of people just lined up in lawn chairs, just sitting out there watching them all go by, and they rev it up, and it's a really cool thing, man. So I can appreciate some classic cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money, a lot of time that gets put into these things. Not a lot of people see these classic cars fully done, and then they buy them, and then they don't know how to fix them, and then when the repair bill comes, it's like way up there.
Sure, because you probably you have to find like something that's going to attach to a 82 that they don't make anymore, and so it's a super rare part that only like a. And I'm just guessing here that only like a specialty vendor has. Is that kind of the reasoning to it?
If it's an 82, you have actually anything in 82 form. If it's like an 82 Vega, there's Vegas all over across the United States. You can get parts from Classic Industries. You can get parts from Summit Racing. Summit Racing is literally 2 hours away from my house. So if I need a part for my Bel Air, I can drive 2 hours to go get it, or I can be lazy and order it and play Outlands. So I just order it and play Outlands and just wait for it to show up to the front door.
I mean, it is 2024, man. I think we all are guilty of ordering something and showing it up to our door. It has revolutionized the way that I shop for things other than groceries, honestly. I've even gotten where I'm ordering clothes online now, which I never thought I would do, but it's just easy to return it. And I don't know. It's just the way things are now, I guess, right?
I order my groceries online. Comes to me once a week, and it's like it got to the point to where I got sick and tired of paying the grocery prices because as far as I know of that the living situation and everything's going up in price, and it's just like when you go to Walmart, right? You go to Walmart, you buy a T-shirt, a pair of jeans, and some food for the week, and it's like $300, and you didn't even buy a lot. You just bought enough just to get you through the week, and it's like, dang, man. But I pay like $80 a week for groceries right now.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And they come to your front door, man. So what's up?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about gaming, man. What got you into gaming? What got you into gaming? What's like the early game you played or something?
The earliest game I played is, I remember this since yesterday. I was 7 years old. I lived in Rolling Meadows at the time in Illinois. So I'm originally from Chicago. Okay. And I remember I had one of those red wagons, one of those old school Radio Flyer red wagons with the black handle. Man, I would go to yard sales.
Okay.
And the first system I ever picked up was a Atari. And I thought like this was like awesome because when I was a kid, Nintendo, the older Nintendos is where the flap picks up and you put the game in, you slam it down, and then it turns on. Yeah. Around that era, I was playing Mario and stuff like that. I wasn't really into gaming that much, but then when I started playing with the Atari, I realized, like, dude, gaming is, like, it's awesome because I hooked it all up. I was super excited. I sat there for literally 9 hours straight. I remember my mom coming down. Are you off that video game yet? No.
I think we've all heard that phrase before.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, the game started developing. The first real PC game I played was Carmageddon when it first came out.
I don't know what Carmageddon is. No.
You don't know what Carmageddon is?
No.
It's like a racing game. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no. Of course. It's a racing game and it's a death match. So every time you hit your person, you cause damage. But there'll be civilians out there running around and you run them over and you get added time.
Yeah.
To your race, and you can get up to like 50 minutes or something. Yeah. And I know a lot of viewers are going to see this and be like, "Oh my god, you used to play Carmageddon."
So it's like the original Grand Theft Auto, basically. You run over people just like in that.
Well, it's a little more gory than that. It's I mean, it really is. I remember playing Duke Nukem when it first came out.
Shake it, baby.
Yeah, shake it, baby. And it's like money. And back then, when your parents walk in, they're like, "What game did I just buy you?" I'm like, "What?"
Yep. See, I was lucky because my father actually would buy the games and I would play them. So he knew what was going on. But man, I might have given the money to that girl a lot more than what he expected because I mean, hey.
Yeah. Yep. And then when the computer games really started developing, I think my first game I played was Diablo.
Okay.
The first Diablo is when I got into Diablo.
Dude, that was so good. That was such a good game.
The first one was like the beginning of it, but then my brother in the other room was playing Ultimate Online.
Okay.
Him and my stepbrother were playing UO, and at the time UO just came out.
Yeah.
And I remember when he wasn't home, I get on his character and I lose all of his stuff. I mean, I lose it all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I turn his guy red. And I remember that he come in and be like, "What'd you do? What'd you do?"
Yeah.
My guy's skills are like nothing. It's gonna take me weeks. I'm like, oh well, there was a guy, he was mining and he just was. I just had to do it.
Because there was stat loss back then, huh?
Correct. Yeah. So when you're a red and you get killed, you lose 10% of all your stats. So you gotta sit there in your house and you either have to trap. You have to trap a goblet, and you have to trap a zombie or a ghoul with actually tables in your house. And you gotta regain your like resistance and stuff. It was really funny.
Oh, that's funny, dude. Yeah, yeah. With the tables, now that resonates. Now, trapping different things in there. Some people would have like a wandering healer in there, so it would cast and stuff, and then you could just go blue and then it res up or whatever. But oh man, that's gold, dude. So you were a minor PK. Hell yeah, dude. I was too. It was always fun. And it's like you, man. I would go red, and then for me though, that was the end of it. Like, nope, that character's done. On to the next one.
Yeah, pretty much. Once it goes red, you can't get it back, and it's like whatever. But what I used to do is, if you remember, right, when someone brings you a magical item and you have to ID it, you had to have item ID and you had to have blacksmithing. Okay. You had to have both. So what I used to do, I mean, I hate to say it, but I used to do it, and I thought I got a kick out of it. I really did. I used to act like a blacksmith in town and role play as a blacksmith that actually had that skill. I would take their stuff and walk away.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
I would just do it.
I mean, back then though, it was the Wild West. Like, it was the beginning of the internet. Like, that's what. I mean, trust me, you've heard them before, man. I've got plenty of scam stories, and I think not anybody, but most anybody that played Ultima back then could list off their top 3 or 4, scams that they did, and it was what it was. But where did you get the name J.Sticks?
Where I got that is actually I'm actually a role player in Grand Theft Auto 5 online, and I role play as a detective. Yeah, and I started off as J.Sticks because someone called me Sticks one day in server. I'm like, it's cool. My first name is, I'll say it. My first name is Jason, but why don't we just say J.Sticks? And then I'm like, oh well, it just stuck. Is what happened. Yeah. So that's where I got it.
Okay, and then so J.Sticks, it was after you had been playing UO for a while, obviously. Do you remember any of your like old character names or what server you guys may have played on in like retail way back then?
Yeah, I played on Chesapeake mainly and Atlantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people played on Atlantic. I feel like most anyone I talked to played on Atlantic, and still to this day, I mean, I think it's like the one main server on there. I played on Atlantic. I was in a guild called Suff for a while, and then I was in a me and Beltane used to just try to befriend people, get them to friend us to their house, and then we'd rob their house and act like we had no idea who did it, but it was obvious it was us.
Yeah,
it was just dumb. It's just yeah.
How about when you can actually like when their house keys weren't blessed, and you kill someone and you take their house key, and then you find that person that you killed, and all of a sudden you sneak around and find his house, and you got his key, and he recalls out and you unlock his door and you go right in and you take everything. I used to leave the door open and watch people go in and out of the house. I just didn't care. You know, and then Lord Brent stopped that from happening. Too many people were getting robbed. Like,
that was after my time, but man, I heard a lot of, and sometimes people would talk about dying as a ghost and then insta-rezzing inside the house or something. I don't know, or gating into a house, or there's just all kinds of different ways that people would rob houses, and I just I missed a lot of those. But yeah,
the big what people used to do back then is they used to cast a gate, just a random gate, and this was back in the day where people would go through those gates because they didn't know where it went. Now no one goes through those gates because you go through those gates, you got like 3-4 PKs inside of a house, and you already know you're done. So. Back then, no one knew where those blue gates went to, and I used to cast the blue gates in one of the dungeons I think it was T2A. That I casted these gates, and all these people would come through, and they would get instant killed by mobs, and I'll just be standing there laughing, dying laughing.
and then you may or may not loot them because back then it was like. I mean, the best thing was a vanquishing silver katana, like there really wasn't super rare stuff, but I mean, it was really cool to get. And I can remember hoarding all kinds of crazy stuff. And then the first way me and Beltane made money, ironically, was we would just beg. We would just sit at Minnick Bank and just be like, pretend some sob story asking everybody can I have stuff, and they would just give us stuff, and most of it was junk, but I had no idea. And I can remember us like coming up with, we're going to get a house and we're going to have a vendor, and the vendor is going to sell everything that people gave us, but we didn't know at the time that it was all garbage. Like, it was all just trash, man.
I remember. The magical wands that Owen stopped the spawning of, like the magical wands of like fire and stuff like that. When people used to give me those, I'd be like, yes, I got something rare, and then I find out it's just shit because it's
nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just great.
So you played. How long did you play retail? Like, did you started pretty early, obviously?
Yeah.
And then how far in did you play retail? Like, do you remember any of the expansion
Renaissance
games? Okay.
I stopped after Renaissance because you got Felucia and you got Trammel. I was there around when that happened, and that was fun on Test Center because you go through the gate for Moonglow. Right, and you walk out, and there's like 20 PKs, and it pop, and you're down. There's no guards, there's nothing around those gates, so it was like a free for all war. Yeah. And then if you remember in Moonglow, you actually go out the gate, you make a left, and you go straight up, and then you have the town right there. Well, me and a group of guys I met, we used to sit up right at that line as Reds. And we would have a town battle. Like, it would just be a straight out battle. But what I really miss is the house wars. Yeah. Is where you get a bunch of reds together, and one red opens up the door, and you see like 3 or 4 energy vortexes spawn on one guy. You see him run, right? Yeah. And you got all these vortexes chasing him.
Yeah. Because remember back then too, like, if you dispelled something, it wouldn't always dispel, right? It would fail to dispel. Wouldn't. Yeah.
It would fail. It was like a 70% chance of it actually like dispelling it.
Yeah. And so those energy vortexes, man, they would wreck people.
Oh yeah, and then the blade spirits too would murder like crowds of people.
Yeah. Oh man, they did too, man. They really did. Yeah, those summons on retail back then were overpowered, but I think for me personally, like, one of the big draws of Ultima back then, and not as much now, but back then, was that, like, overpoweredness, the broken things, like a blade spirits. It would attack in all directions, and it would just murder people, or how hard it was to gain the skill, and the little intricate things that if you knew, then you were 5 steps ahead of everybody else. And I think a lot of gaining the advantage back then in MMOs especially was primarily based off of what you and a select group of people knew. Now it's like, okay, Google. I mean, I hear it all the time. People are like, well, I've been reading up on this game for a month and a half now, and I decided to play. And it's like, just jump in. Why you got to read, man? Just jump in and play,
Oh,
So,
no. We get our fair share of new players that do that. They just
yeah.
don't want to join a guild. They want to read up on it. They want to learn about it. But the main problem is they get confused right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
After they're done reading about Outlands, and they're like, dude, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm doing. You spent a whole month and you.
Yeah.
Okay,
they've
cool.
found a community. They've read every player progression system, and then they are overwhelmed. And it's like, I don't think I want to play this. And you're like, just play and ask the questions as you go. The thing that I think that's the beauty of this game is that there is no benchmarks, right? Like, you don't have to understand everything to play. You can day one jump in there, and if you got a buddy who's tier 15 and 30 links, you can be farming a dungeon with him, man, on day one, and it's totally okay. Whereas a lot of other games aren't really like that,
No, they're not.
No. But what is going back to the retail stuff, I mean, how did you transition from retail to free servers? Was it a thing where you just kind of stopped playing after Renaissance, and then you found free servers, or how'd that kind of go?
World of Warcraft came out. That's why I
Yeah.
stopped playing. I mean, let's just be honest, right? World of Warcraft came out, and I was level back then. Level 40 was top tier. I was a level 40 gnome. I was a summoner. I just was running around soloing dungeons, and then after a year or two of WoW, and then you had Guild Wars that came out.
Yeah.
And then I stopped playing WoW and switched into Guild Wars. I played Guild Wars 1. Both of them.
Yeah, Guild Wars was great.
I did.
Both of them were. Yeah. Completely different games, right? But they were so good.
But they were a little similar though, but but they're really good. And then Star Wars Galaxy came.
Okay.
I stopped playing Guild Wars and went straight into that. Just straight into it. So I've been in MMOs for a long time. So
yeah, me too, man. I remember, for me it was EverQuest. It was EverQuest that took me away from Ultima Retail. But I did play Guild Wars 1 and 2, but 1 was great because you could be like warrior monk or monk mage or whatever. I don't know if it was mage, but like it had the little like dual class system.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting and really cool. And I can also remember the dungeons. You could level your character through dungeons and do the storyline, which wasn't a bad storyline. But it was the first game that I remember that if you didn't have X amount of people to do the dungeon with you, it would do computer for you. Like a computer would automate those characters. And I always thought that was really cool, for sure. But Guild Wars 1 was fun, man.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then 2 was great. 2, I recently played 2, man, and with some friends, and we did a lot of PvP. Their ranking system was garbage, but I really enjoyed Guild Wars 2. I spent way too much money on cosmetics and had to quit. and of course, inventory.
Yeah, I did that on Star Wars Old Republic when that first came out.
That was a good game too, man.
It still is a good game. Yeah. It's still, they have a severe, there's one server. What they did is they mashed all the servers together to like maybe 4 or 5, and the one I play on is still active.
Uh-huh.
I go on there once in a great while, just to remind myself I have all this cool shit.
Were
all
you
this
more?
cool deco.
Were you more Alliance, or I mean, were you
I
more
was more
Imperials or
Jedi.
Rebels? You were more Jedi. Okay.
Yeah, I was Jedi. I have a tier. I have a level 80 Jedi with all the best armor from like 5 years ago. Like I
Yeah.
still have it all, but now there's bigger and better stuff. I just don't.
Of course.
I'm not in the mood, so I just go on there to go through my houses on Tatooine, and I just look at everything. I look at all my spreads. I look at everything what I have, and I'm like, I can't get back into this. I'm just gonna I'm gonna kill myself if I go back into this.
I played a Inquisitor or a Sorcerer. Yeah, I played a Sorcerer, and I really liked it. And then I the cool thing about that game was the leveling in it for each class, because it had a very good like voice acting story and everything like that. I leveled quite a few different classes, and some were better than others, but each one was pretty dang good, actually.
Oh yeah.
If you like Star Wars, guys, definitely do yourself a favor, download the game and level up a few classes.
I mean, the crafting on it is like the crafting, and then you can have companions that you can send the companions out and do special missions. You get rare goods, you get materials. You don't even got to go out and do it. But if you're in the mood and you want to go do it, you can go to Tatooine and explore Tatooine and just run into sand people and kill them and take all their costumes and run around as a sand person. So
I hate them.
It's just fun.
I killed them all. The mother, the women, and the children too.
that when I saw that part was wild.
Yeah, that's good, man. So what ended up bringing you to Outlands?
I stopped playing video games, I want to say, for a good 5 years when I got into my welding.
Hold on, what is that? That's possible?
Oh. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I actually took a traveling job. I was 100% travel.
Okay.
So I didn't have, when I came home, I didn't have time for it. I really didn't.
Yeah.
But then I found this nice job I got, and then I'm just like, well, let's go back and play Ultimate Online. I typed in Ultimate Online, nothing came up. Nothing did come up except for Ultimate Online Veteran. Or Veterans. It's like a veteran server. I don't know. It's probably one of the private servers, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
For like UO. But then I'm like, okay, let me type in Ultimate Online free servers. And then Outlands came up. And that's how I got back into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know nowadays if you type in Ultima Online, Outland shows up above UO and everything else. It's but yeah, and so you found Outlands, and walk me through a little bit of that journey, man.
I mean, I came in just like everyone else has, just like you have, just like everyone in every guild has came. You're a new player, you come to an island, it gives you a tiny little bit of information. But that is it. It doesn't tell you where to go to do your skills. It doesn't tell you diddly. It just doesn't.
Yeah, good luck, right?
I played. Good luck is right. I played solo for about 60 days, 2 months, and then I went on Outlands Discord.
Yeah.
Because at that time I was doing the GTA role playing scene, and I was playing Outlands. I was doing more of the role playing for GTA because I would put 72 hours a week into GTA.
Wow. Yeah. Were you playing on like the Twitch RP server or whatever it's called, where you have to get whitelisted, or is it just like a GTA? I don't know how it works, but I know there's like a couple RP servers.
I was playing on a whitelisted server, part of New Carolina Network, and then I wasn't. It was like I was playing on both their servers. And it's like, some of these guilds have rules in Outlands. once you join our guild, you can't join anybody else's. It's pretty much what those servers are, because those servers rely on ping, and people are actually paying money monthly to actually run that server. So they want you to constantly keep their momentum up and their time play sky high. But I didn't mind it though. The people I role play with, their ages range from like 14 to like 50-year-old people. It's just like the range is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So it got fun, but then when I started playing Outlands, I got really involved in Outlands, and I went to find me a guild, because, you know, when you're new and you get to the point where, okay, well, I got 80 skills, everything, I'm ready to go, and you go into your first dungeon, you're running around the whole map. I go to Ages, I get killed by a PK. I'm like, damn it, I don't have a rune book. Like, I can't recall, so I had to run all the way back to Horseshoes Bay.
There was a moon gate, but you didn't know.
I didn't know.
You were new.
I was new. I didn't know. So I was running around for an hour trying to find a wandering healer. So
just like the old times, just like the old days, man.
Yeah, just running around trying to find a wandering healer.
Yeah.
Instead, I could have just went to war and got rezzed by somebody. Instead, I'm outside running around Horseshoes Bay trying to find a wandering healer.
You know, that's funny because thinking about that, I mean, I'm sure there are new players that run around doing the exact same thing. And then, like, I'm sitting here thinking right now, like, well, it's obvious you would look on your map to the cross, but it's not obvious if you're a new player. You know what I mean? It doesn't, like, you know, some games, the first time you die, it's like, oh, no, you've died. Look for this on a map. You can open your map by this. You know what I mean? Like, it's those little things that are obvious to somebody like me that's been playing Ultima for years that wouldn't be obvious to somebody who hadn't played it for years and then comes and plays. That's really interesting, but I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
No. You are okay. Now, in order to get the detailed map in Outlands, you have to select it. When you first come into Outlands, it gives you that little damn circle map. Right. And when you come in here new, you don't know how to get rid of that.
Yeah.
First of all, I ran around for 2 months with that little map trying to find a wandering healer. I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. So Sticks was my first character. He was originally a miner. I just wanted to mine, so I mined for 12 hours a day, just mining. I'm like, this is boring. You know, I need to do something. I need to fight. Right. So I turned him into the Amish monk build.
Yeah.
I've been playing that for 614 days.
There you go.
It's a nice build. But I did join a guild, though.
Yeah.
My first guild ever, I joined Squeeze.
Okay.
Freshly squeezed.
Yeah. Was Trammy still around back then?
He was Trammy was around here and there, but Morgan took it over.
Okay.
At the time that I was in there.
And he's been the same GM since, right? Or I don't know.
I haven't been in that guild for a long time, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I don't want to say something that I don't know, and then if I say it and it comes back and hits me in my Discord, so it's just, you know.
How dare you say the wrong GM?
I mean, there was a rumor when I was in there that Trammy was going to come back and take Squeeze over again and run it his way, but it never happened. So I just mind my own business.
Yeah, of course. Then
at that point.
And then you left there and made your own thing, which I think I see above your head in that cool banner.
Yep, right? It's the New Player Services banner.
Yeah. So what's that guild? I mean, I know, but what's that guild?
Well, the guild behind me?
Yeah, tell us about it.
All right. Well, we are called New Player Services MPS, to where we're actually dedicated into helping new players. What I mean by this is, right now I have a new player that is having an issue with a fencing dexter. So what I did is I took all my wrestling away in sticks, and I added fencing in his build. So I have a new fencing codex. He has a new fencing codex. I show him what a tier 7 air does. I show him what a tier 13 tier blood and earth mix, because you can mix both aspects. I show him what that can do. So now he has finally picked his aspect. He's finally going dungeon crawling. I mean, he's a really fun guy. He's actually from Vegas. So listening to him talk is great. It's just great. The stories that come from him is great.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's really what we do. What we tell people is, if you want it all fast, you're gonna burn yourself out.
Yeah.
I mean, just for the new players that are watching this, if you don't take your time in this shard, and trust me, it's a shard where you want to go. But if you don't enjoy like the little things of the shard, you're gonna burn yourself out after 3 to 4 months of you playing it every single day. 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some of those people are out there that do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have top aspect. You're gonna have all the links. You're gonna have everything that you ever wanted. You run through a dungeon. You plow through every dungeon. You never die. You get to the point, and then you're bored, but you haven't explored being a blacksmith. You haven't explored crafting. You haven't explored boating. You haven't done any taming. You only did that one character.
Yeah.
And Owen gives us the option of making 15 characters.
Yeah.
But some people don't do that, and then they burn themselves out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really fair thing. And just that there is so many different things you can do, and you get 720 skill points, and how you decide to use them is completely up to you. There's consequences, both good and negative, depending on how you do them. But at the end of the day, I think and some people are into this, and that's totally okay. I'm not here to judge anybody's play style, but I think that if you're trying to, mainly as a new character, if you're trying to compare yourself to the guy that's been playing for 2 years, like you're gonna have a bad time, because and it's not just about the skills; it's about the links. Let's be honest, man. The more time you've invested in your character, I think this game demonstrates that more than most games, even. Whereas a lot of other games, it's like, okay, we're gonna rush to 60, and then we're gonna get a whole bunch of gear, but I can get the gear and get just like 5% less than the guy who's been playing for 20 years. You know what I mean? And it's not like another thing and I get leery of saying that, because it's not like, some people will hear that and be like, oh, so is it too late for me to start playing? No, not at all. There's absolutely no benchmarks, nothing that says you have to be doing this much damage, at all, to where you can't play. And I've never been a part of a group or heard of a part of group that's been like, oh, you have to do 30,000 damage, otherwise you can't come, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's not like that.
Yeah, no, we've had our fair share of alliances with other guilds that are actually like that.
Oh.
And we're not like that. Like, we will take a new player to SSC main, and he'll die like 80 times. Like, literally, he'll die a lot. But then again, he's gaining experience in his codex, he's gaining experience in his chain, and he's learning how to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't affect anything.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't, Yeah. So what we really tell everybody is, when people ask us, well, what build do you guys need for the guild, because I'll make the character, this is what I tell them. This is an open sandbox. You play it the way you want to play it. If you want to make a tamer, make a tamer. If you want to make a town drunk and RP as a town drunk for the guild, then do it. Just play it the way that you want to play it. Your build in our guild does not matter. we will still do what we got to do. It just doesn't have fun, man. Just relax and have fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
with
I
the
think
game.
I think that's the big thing. It's just doing whatever you want. I think the town drunk one sounds pretty fun though.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah. We
might
have.
do good at that on Saturdays. I don't know.
I do it sometimes on. I have a boater. His name is Pegleg Petey,
Okay.
and sometimes I act like a town drunk in Prev, and I beg people for money. I end up getting like 50K checks handed to me, and I get told, "Okay, now you can leave me alone."
Yeah, well,
But then I ask him. Well, I need beer. Do you have beer? It's just like
it's just fun to talk to people. I don't remember who it was, man. I wish somebody in the comments say it, but there was a guy. He would do trade ups, right? So he made a brand new character, and he traded his blue shirt for something, and then he traded whatever it was for something else until he ended up trading for a house. And like that was his whole stream. He would stream like 2 or 3 times a week, and he would just like tell people stories of like, well, I really need this because of, and he would say some outlandish story about like, because my brother lost his leg in Cavernham to a frigid horn beast, and so I need, just like all this stuff.
yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but it was like the funniest thing ever, man. I really enjoyed watching him. But anyways, but speaking of streaming, you streamed for a while, and
Yeah.
there is rumor you might be streaming again sometime soon. Is that right?
Yes, I'm gonna be streaming again soon. My main character, he can't like not be blue for a day. So it's like Sticks right now, he's red. He's
okay.
yeah. Someone was messing with one of our new players, and I went down to Palma, and I took at least 6 counts. So, I just couldn't help myself. Like I mean, I have 4 other characters I'm building. Like I'm building my alter ego's Tribard, which I love. I love that build. That build is outstanding.
It's
I
like
love
the most
every
fun.
minute of it. Dude, it's fun. Especially when you're barding and you provo like 6 or 7 monsters, and then they all bard break at once, and they come at you. It's like
I gotta run.
I gotta run.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, it's really fun. I really like it. Sometimes we sit up in the guild house, and what we do once a week now is we buy a cheap wagon that someone's selling, and we do a marble Grand Prix, and whoever wins the marble Grand Prix, the top 3 people, they go to a sudden death race, and then whoever wins that, they get a free wagon.
Hold on, explain this wagon thing. What is a marble Grand Prix and buying a wagon? What are you talking about?
Okay, so my council and my officers, I don't make the decisions in the guild. The guild is a community, and they make decisions for the guild, and I just voice my opinion about it. But normally I just let them do whatever they want to do, you know. So someone mentioned that, hey, we should start buying wagons up and giving them away, just straight up, just giving them away to new players.
Yeah, like house wagons, right? Like house wagons. Okay.
Yeah. So we would go on Outlands Discord, find one for about 500K, 750. We just gave away 3 of them.
Yeah.
And we would buy them and tell everyone, including MPS members. We have got rookies, members, vet players, senior players, and then if they want to help the guild or they have time to, then we turn them into recruiters, officers. We have our own little ranking system and everything, and everyone loves it. But what we do is I bring up marbles off Steam.
Okay.
And within marbles, see, you do single races. If you go to the right, there's Grand Prix races where you can select up to 6 races.
Okay.
And whoever wins those 6 races is the winner of the whole thing. But everyone wants to expand that like 6 wins. So okay, fine. So the top 3 people in the guild, they will actually do a sudden death race of their choosing. So I okay, guys, pick one out. You guys pick it. I'm not going to pick it because the one I'm going to pick, everyone's going to die. And then I'm just going to laugh. So they pick it, and then that person wins that wagon that week. And then the next week, we give a wagon away as well. So we actually help people out that actually are active in the guild, want to help the guild out and stuff like that. But then when a new player wins it, it's great because normally when we do them right after we do an Omni, and when we give out those silver and gold links to our guild members, it's always a new player that gets that one gold link. And then he ends up selling it because, he's a new guy, for 2.3, 2.5 mil.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a junk link, why not? I mean, that'll get you going.
That'll get you going a lot.
Yeah.
So he would sell it. And then after 30 days with us, you've been in the guild for 30 days, we actually give you a mastery chain.
Oh, okay.
So, we try to give them incentives is what we do.
Yeah.
So a lot of guilds will just, okay, well, here, you use this codex for this, here's that. But you're not teaching them how to farm for themselves and how to make money in the shard. So what we did is recently we have a quartermaster. So what the quartermaster has in there, he's got aspect kits. We have like anything a new player needs to get started in Outlands, it's on there. So we take him farming with us. We make sure he makes 100K that night, and then he goes to the quartermaster, and we only charge what the materials cost to make it. So the guild makes zero money off of this at all.
Yeah.
So he buys his codexes. He buys his Blessed Rune book with the guild rune in it, stuff like that. So then he learns that, okay, well, I got everything I needed because I put in the time. Not just giving it for free, and just because those guys just bounce from one guild to the next, just taking and taking and taking.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually eliminates thieves, is what it does.
You're making them work for it, which is good because, if the only thing for Outlands was test server, it'd be a dead server. No one would play it. You know what I mean? Which is, if you just give everybody everything, then it's just like, all right, well, that was cool for 10 minutes. Out. So, I totally get it. Yeah, make them work. Yeah.
Yeah, we never did that before. We always gave them everything they needed. Like, we gave them, if they wanted to unlock Lyric, we would give them the aspect kick, we'd give them the cores, we'd give them everything. Now, they actually, when they go farming with us for like a day or two, and they get all their money and they borrow their codexes, and they tell us what aspect they're going to unlock, if they're short by a core or short by this, then we just, of course we're going to give it to them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah. And then a couple weeks ago, now this is a funny part. Now this is funny for this. We have a new guy, and one of our rules is do not macro off the shelf that everybody uses. And he's like, "Yeah, I promise I won't." He's sitting there. He macroed 57,000 regs. He took out 57,000 items within a night. Ooh. And I moved the shelf, and then his macro turns off. And so then I knew that he was macroing off the shelf.
Yeah.
But of course he apologized for doing it. Said he'll never do it again. And from here on out, every week he's actually been donating a commodity of every reg into that shelf, and he says, like, that's my contribution for the guild every week. I'm like, because but there's people out there that because at the end of the day, when you join a guild, right, you're meeting people, you're farming with them, you're playing a game. And a lot of the times you don't realize this, but you get really close with those people.
Yeah,
and you start to get to know exactly who they are and where they're from, and you become friends. We're all friends, literally. Like, I'm planning a camping trip that the people that can come, we're all going to meet in the middle of the country somewhere, and we're going to go camping for like a weekend.
That's awesome,
It's
dude.
just you know, it's like Supreme Lebowski, right?
Yeah. He's great.
Him and his family actually own an apple orchard in Boston. I have 2 weeks of vacation in July. I already told him I'm taking a week, and I'm gonna come bother you for a week. You know, and then Silent,
you got to get some of his apple cider, dude. You got to get some of that apple cider.
Trust me, they actually make an apple wine there, and he says it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna check that out. And then Silent, well, aka Iwar, as we know him as Iwar.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
Yeah, he's legit, dude.
Video, man. Yeah, dude, he's
legit.
like long hair. He looks like Ozzy. You know, back in the day when he lives in Cali. I got a half brother that lives in Cali. So I'm taking a week. I'm taking my daughter. I'm gonna go out there to Cali, see my half brother, but also I'm gonna go visit Silent.
That's cool, man. He's good people, man. He's really good people. I got a bottle of Eagle Rare from him actually, which is I've gotten where I really like bourbon now, and it's Whiskey Saturday, and it evolved from whiskey to Scotch, and then now, I mean, I'm kind of getting where I like bourbon more, and I gotta say a lot of it's because of him and sending me that bottle of Eagle Rare. I was like, hold on now, I think I'm liking bourbon a little bit now. So pretty cool stuff. He's good people, man, for sure. You got yourself a good one there. And he's a counsel or anything like that, or I don't know. I'm just
he is counsel.
Yeah, that would make sense. Sense.
Yep. And then we do have a guild mom. She makes everything for everybody in the guild.
Okay.
It's just she lives 2 hours away from me in the next state over. So it's like we all get close together. We all know who we generally are.
Yeah.
And planning trips like this would get all the families together, because I have a daughter, and a lot of people that play Outlands.
Yeah.
We all have kids. So it's like, I told Nate, why don't you bring your kids? I'll bring my kid, and we'll just hang out.
Yeah.
And we'll go camping.
Yeah, you know this, but I mean, I do a lot of meetups and stuff, man. And I got to say that.
But you never come out to Georgia.
Not yet. All of them, man, it's created some really good bonds, man. I obviously remember every person that's came out to each one. And it's everywhere from, I guess Colorado is the furthest west until next year. It'll be Vegas, but Colorado is the furthest west. We've done Texas, Oklahoma, all the way up to Philadelphia. Philadelphia was great. That one was awesome. But who knows, man? Maybe Georgia soon. Who knows? We'll see. Georgia's cool.
Well, I know before you were supposed to come out into Marietta last year, but you never did because it was for work. I remember it because it was for work, and I told you, let me know when you come out because I'll just play hooky.
Yeah. Well,
and I'll just come out.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, the likelihood of me going there for work now is a little bit slim. It's same job, just different position, if that makes sense. But anyways,
no, it does.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys used to do, I don't know if you still do, but you guys used to do like classrooms for new players and stuff like that. Is that right?
Yes. We still do it from time to time. I normally do it when I'm streaming live. I always do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back into doing that every Sunday. I gotta figure out a time and whatnot. But normally they come into the guild. Yeah, unfortunately, if you don't have a microphone, then you can't join us, because us talking, you get a lot of more info out of it than just sitting there and typing, because you can talk a lot more than type.
Yeah.
And it's just, we can explain it, we can open up our screens, we can show you, we could talk about everything. That's what I do on Sundays. I mean, Sundays right now in my guild at 9 p.m., from 9 p.m. to 10:30, there's an hour and a half gap that I sit there and I talk to the rookies, which is the new players for us. I ask them, hey guys, how are we doing? Tell me about your week. Tell me about your build. You know, what are the problems that you're having? What don't you understand? Because if I don't know the answer, like I tell everyone, if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna reach out to people that I know, like you, that has been on this shard for so long that you guys have the answers. And
well, not always.
You know, I mean, somewhat. You know.
I referred to today. Somebody was like, "Hey, what's the best points for this this creature?" And I was like, "Well, you know what, man? I could look it up right now and probably give you a pretty good guess. But my main man Amish has leveled up every single pet. I don't know what this dude's got a hard on for leveling pets, man. Every time I talk to him, he's like, just leveling pets." And I'm like, why? And he's just like, just leveling pets. It's just what he does.
It's something because he's exploring.
Yeah,
he's exploring the game. Like I never did planting before, and then there was like 3 months where the second level of the guild house you couldn't move. There were so many planters everywhere, and I would just be sitting there planting, watching everything grow. And like, Sticks, why don't you come farming? Nah, dude, I got plants to take care of. So it's like, you know, it's crazy.
Side note, man, for the guys that don't have microphones, or they don't want to buy one or something like that, you know, they can download Discord on their phone and talk on their phone. If that's if they want to. If they have a smartphone. I don't know.
I have the new iPhone, so it works.
Oh, look at you. Look at you, man. There you go. So that's cool though. What would you say is, I mean, I don't want to say the number one thing because then it's a little bit more difficult. But what would you say are some of the things that new players struggle with? Like some of the most common questions you get, like that they just don't understand, or you know what I mean? Maybe that there could be a fix for or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Turning off criminal healing and criminal looting.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that deters, because once they come out of shelter, any new player, doesn't matter if they're in a guild, you know, it doesn't matter. There needs to be something to where it prompts them to read a little information about prevent criminal healing, because there's none. There's absolutely nothing on the wiki. There's really nothing for it. New players don't even know. So when they go down into like ages and they're killing stuff and they just loot a monster because it's there and they turn gray, they don't know why everyone in that entire dungeon is chasing them again, trying to kill them. They don't know it. So what that does is the new people that are coming into this community are instantly deterred from it, and they just don't come back.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing I really want to say that they need. That really is the number one question that I get asked all the time.
Yeah, you know, so something that I caught on test, right? So I do know that, I will say this. I know when you're young and you're like, when you first zone in, there's a big text block, but it's so easily right clicked. And then also, I know when you are about to lose your young status and leave for the first time, I don't want to say no, I'm pretty sure there is. Then again, you get a text block. I don't know what it is because it's very easily right clicked. But lately, I don't know, maybe within the last 4 or 5 months on test, there's a little pop up right when you log in that says you were on test server, use bracket go, and this and that. And if you don't hit OK, like you can't right click it, like you have to like click OK because it wants, and you can't move or anything until you do or whatever. Like, I feel like maybe they could put some of those in shelter of like, teach this, teach that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Ultimate Online, they had it in retail when it went Trammel versus Felucia, and you're a new player, and it teaches you how to, okay, if you want to go red, then you do this. If you want to stay blue, you do this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
You know, they did have that for a while. So
Yeah, I remember those damn moonstones. I
mhm.
I had so many of those moonstones. Remember those? You just dick them in the ground and then the moon gate. And I used to just
Yeah,
be like, these are gonna be worth something someday. And they might be now. I don't know, but they're just a little teeny little
yeah.
ain't of nothing. But yeah, so okay, so there's that. I mean, anything else that comes to your mind as far as like things that new players struggle with getting going that maybe you answer a pretty often question or whatever.
Um, builds and aspects.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that I see that new players are having issues with because the newer players that we get in here, they're coming from retail. And I'm
Mhm.
not talking like retail, like now retail. Like we're talking about 90s retail.
Yeah.
And they think that once you hit like 100, oh, I'm GM. Ah, okay, you are. You're
Yeah.
GM.
Yeah, slow
What?
down there, buddy.
You slow down. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Slow
That don't
down.
mean shit.
That don't mean nothing here. You got to go to 120 to become GM, but there's only
Yeah.
3 skills you could take it to. So, I think it's really builds. They get confused because they read and they watch all these streams with all these builds, and you try to explain it to them like you do know that guy is top tier everything. He's got gold links, he's got top tier gear and everything. So you're basing your build off of someone that's already got top build in Outlands. And then when they go to do the build and then they go into a dungeon, they get wrecked. And
Sure.
they don't know why.
Yeah.
Um aspect information nowhere to be found in the in shelter.
Yeah.
Like I get new guys asking me what's an aspect, what is a mastery chain. We try to get them to go farming with us and get their books, and then we tell them about codexes. They don't know anything about the codexes, and these are
Yeah.
the people that read up on this server and they read through the wiki
Yeah.
and they still don't know.
Well, I think that
You
because
know,
that the codex and aspects and stuff's on the wiki, I think that's just because of an information overload. But to your
yeah,
point, I will totally agree with you that um, there could be a few things on shelter. I've always thought it'd be cool if there was like a quest, and it's like it starts you out, walks you across the way, it introduces you to a vendor and you buy something, introduces you to how to train skills with the little credits in your bag,
yeah,
tells you to go into shelter and says, all right, warrior, hit tab. Now double click that bat or whatever, and
yeah,
then it like you gain your skill and like this quest takes you all the way to 80 and whatever, right? And it maybe this whatever tells you like, do you want to be a mage? Do you want to be a warrior? And it like tailors the quest that way. And I get it. This is tons of programming and it's so easier for me just to spit it out
yeah.
than it
I
is to
mean,
actually do
but it's
it.
a lot of
Yeah,
programming.
sure. And then even again takes you out of shelter, puts you in front of the king of Pavilion. The Pavilion is like, oh, you're weak. You need to get an aspect and a codex, and then it opens up the wiki pages to those. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
things like that. I think would be leaps and bounds. But I also, again, understand this programming, and you've got the people who make it through all the bullshit, which is what we just talked about, all the learning,
yeah,
and then they are like hungry for more content, and it's just a private server, not private, it's now the custom server, and it's like, okay, we gotta cater to these people, and then it's like, hopefully these people get through. You know what I mean? It's like a weird,
yeah. It's just yeah.
yeah.
I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's okay.
I do wish there was more for new players because exactly what you're saying, man, is I mean, I hear a lot of those too, and it's like it is really disheartening when somebody's like, I have no idea what just happened. I walked into town and I guess I was gray and I don't know how I went gray. And it's, and they come to find out they were in war mode the whole time and they accidentally double clicked somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then they get whacked, and
Yeah.
they get guard whacked.
Yeah, because they hit Alt Tab to tab over, and instead they hit Tab, and they didn't realize they were in war mode, and they double clicked something. It's stupid, silly stuff like that me and you don't really think about because we've been doing it forever. That new players, it's part of it, I guess, but I don't know, man.
You know what I've seen a lot of, and I don't think other guilds have seen while they're recruiting. I don't know, but when we're recruiting, I'm seeing new players. I'm talking they haven't played Outlands or UO.
Yeah.
All period. Yeah. And I love when those guys come in here because it's like, dude, let me show you this and this and this. Well, I play RuneScape. Perfect. You're gonna fit right in with this group of people. Well, I play WoW, so is this like WoW because the graphics are really bad on this? I'm like, no.
Yeah, a lot different.
No, it's totally different. We try to slow them down, man. Slow down and take the time, and then they ask you. These new guys ask you. All the new players do when you get them to join the guild when they're young. Hey, do I need to stay in shelter or do I need to come to the guild house and train? No, stay at shelter until you're 80, and we'll bring you over to the guild house.
Yeah,
you train until all your skills are 100. Then we take you farming, and then you start building up your codexes and stuff like that. But this is one thing that a lot of new players don't know. When you get that $10,000 gold blessed check for your rental, they don't use it. They throw it on the ground because they don't know about the rental, and it doesn't say anything. I don't think it says anything in shelter about it. Just has a $10,000 gold check in their bank that says rental, 10,000 rental. So we actually, every new player we get in, we get them set up with their in room. We make sure that we tell them, hey, you need to make 5K gold a week. And the same thing I get is this. Oh man, that's gonna be hard to get, man. I don't think I can farm 5K. I don't even know how hard this game is. We take him down to level 3 Moz, and he makes like 20K. He's like, oh my god, this is easy. I'm like, yes, it is. Yeah. You don't live out of a bank. You live out of an inn, but you gotta be careful because if you don't have that money in there, guess what happens to your bank? What? All your crap is dumped into it.
Yep.
All of it.
That's good, yeah.
And we have a guy now. His name is Sig Monster. Okay. He came to the guild brand new. He brought his real life friend, his best friend, into the guild with him. Both new. He's actually an officer now in our guild, and he's only been in Outlands for a month. What he does is he gets people grouped together in the guild, and they run bosses. They go out farming, and when a new guy comes in, they bring him right in, and he tells them this. When you first start off, you want gold and XP. That's what you want. You want gold and XP, gold and XP, gold and XP. That's what he tells them. Because it's true. It's honestly true. If you're just there to play the game slowly, cool. Play the game slowly at your own pace.
Yeah.
But don't get mad that you see the person next to you that's been there for a week, and they already got aspect, they already got like tier 4, tier 5, and you're still sitting at, I don't know what aspect I want to run. But then you go out with them and you get totally wrecked, and everyone tells you, hey, you need your aspect, man. That's gonna help you. Why is it gonna help me? Dude, you have no idea. This game is built around it. It
really is. Yeah.
So because old UO didn't have aspects, so it was all about getting to 100 or getting your dex to 100, dex and strength to 100. And
that's all that matters.
Major down to 10. Yeah, that's all that matters. How fast can I swing? Can I poison this weapon and actually hit him?
Yeah. If somebody actually had GM swords and tactics, they were a god. I mean, it was like
it was impossible to get it. It was like
it was pretty wild. But so as far as Wildlands is concerned, because dude, we are 4 days away, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's rumors going around, and I've heard them.
Okay. Well, what rumors? I guess I don't know.
I heard that because okay, so as a guild master, right, and you're running a guild, you talk to other guild masters on the shard. I mean, it's gonna happen. You guys are gonna talk about a lot of stuff, right?
Sure.
This rumor is that Sin is going to try to dominate Wildlands while people are trying to place houses.
I don't. How would they do
Like,
that?
they're just PK. Like, okay, so this is just a rumor. This is what's going around the community right now, right? That Sin, when someone wants to go place a house, right?
Okay.
Sin's gonna be in Wildlands, right? Like hidden around because there's 2 moon gates.
That's a lot of area to cover.
No, it really is. They're not going to kill everybody, but if there's a certain area that they're trying to get, they're going to stay there. You're going to have a new player run into that little open area and he's going to get whacked.
Okay.
It's going to stop him from planting a house because you have
for
up to
30 days. For 30 days, we're going to do that.
Yeah, that's the rumor. That's the rumor.
Listen,
and then there's another one.
Listen, hold on. Time out. No, time out. Listen, let me just point this out. On a good day, we can get 40 people to an Omni. Okay? 50 people to an Omni. And I'm really trying to fathom right now how we're going to spread 50 people out. Wait, let me rewind. That Omni is an organized thing. Like, we know it's coming, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm trying to really fathom how we're going to get 50 people or more, because it's going to take more, to cover that entire land span for 30 days. Look, I got a job, bro. And furthermore, yeah.
I mean, that's just the rumor that everyone's talking about.
Oh, that's a funny rumor. Okay.
That's what. Well, these are the medium and small guilds that they're all talking to each other, right? And that's what their biggest fear is. So someone said it, and it got back to me, and I started laughing about it. I'm like, yeah, okay, right? It's like a big whatever for me. I really don't care about all that. But the other one is since now with the new boss spawns, right?
Okay.
The other rumor is that Sin is going to come after everybody's bosses. Like, they're going to raid everyone's bosses nonstop because of the simple fact that when you spawn a mini, right? It only costs you $500,000 to spawn it. But once you spawn it, it's going to cost you $1 million to spawn that, and it's going to cost you $1.5 million to actually do a main. So every single time you every time you spawn a mini or a main, it's going to cost you $500,000 more. So it makes the bigger guilds raid the medium and small guilds a lot more. And I'm just saying, this is what everyone is like. Everyone's like, oh, dude, we don't know what. I'm like, you guys just relax. Like, I know my alliance, we're going to spawn the bosses just like we normally do. We're just going to spawn them at our times, and if we lose them, we lose them.
Is there anything that, like, you get from bosses that's any different in Wildlands? Like, do you get, like, links or anything?
I don't know. I haven't seen the bosses in Outlands.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, I have no idea.
I think it's the same, but I'm just trying to, like...
I know you're trying to wrap your head around it. Like, what?
Yeah,
this is what people are talking about.
Well, I do think it's funny. Like, I don't know, man. It's just that's funny to me. I don't know where that comes from. Like, like why Sin doing that? I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I don't know. Okay. I have no idea. I know that certain guilds want to try to take over the Wildlands open space and try to make their own little town. I know some guilds.
I mean, that's normal.
I mean, yeah,
that's normal.
So it's like, yeah. So it's like I don't know what Sin's doing because I'm not in that guild, so I want to know.
I wouldn't even call it a guild; just a group of people would be wanting to place around there. But yeah, last expansion, I mean, we did really well. We definitely didn't kill people at a moon gate to try to place for 30 days, but we knew the land layout, which you can't do this time. And we had an idea of where we were going to place and when we were going to place. And I made a video over it, and we bought placements from people that wanted to sell them in the guild. And we sold placements to people who wanted to buy them in the guild, right? It was all within. We paid a percentage over what the market value was for a placed house, for a settlement pass. And so, like, for instance, I think I bought 4 plots or something like that, and I paid like 20-something million for them. And then, of course, I had to buy the deed to Pwnhollow, which is how Pwnhollow was placed. And then behind me, somebody placed a Grand Fortress. And, we had an area, but definitely wasn't some weird brutal thing. It was just a lot of Excel sheets and craziness put on by Chios. And I don't know. That's funny, though. I guess it makes me proud to be in a feared guild for absolutely no reason. But hey,
yeah, Sin is really. You guys are really good people. On the end of the day, you guys really are. And this is just a game, so you're gonna have your, you're gonna have your people that are just gonna badger you nonstop, and then have your people that are gonna be really fun with it. But I do know that if I get a plot, I will have the most expensive 8x8 in Outlands.
What is just like you'll put a bunch of cool stuff in it? Yeah.
No. I'm gonna try to place a house. If I get chosen, I'm gonna place a house in a big open area if I can, an 8x8, and then after 30 days, I'm gonna put it up for sale for 68 mil.
Yeah. No, and that's what a lot of people will do too, man. Yeah. I will say this. I do know that Owen mentioned that he made it to where there's not a lot of large plots. Now, what he means by large, I don't know. Maybe 18 by 18 or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly, but I know he did not a lot of them is what he said in general. So, but people will still pay a big amount of money for a medium/large house. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then I could still take that money, throw it in the guild fund, sell our current guild house, and go get a Grand Norse Lodge right by the ocean, and then we're big.
You know what house I would want more than anything right now?
What's up?
An OG classic castle. They're ugly. I get it. The reason I want it is just to be like, I had an OG classic castle. You know what I mean? Like it's a badge of honor kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I understand the OG castle. You have the grass around the entire middle square. Sure. And you have all the openings on the sides and the windows, and man, it's just old school castle, man. Back in
pain in the ass to run around. Pain in the ass to run around it, but just like a keep, they were terrible to run around. You have to go all the way around and stuff, but.
Man, that keeps going back to the old UO days, man.
It doesn't everything.
When people used to have castles, and when people used to storm them with the blues, and the PKs would be inside the wall area, and there'd be the 2 windows, and they used to cast energy fields and paralyzes, and then they would energy vortex everyone and wipe everyone out in that hallway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just the good old days, man. It's just the good old.
Yeah, now you can. Owen does a pretty good job of setting up the houses to where you can't shoot through windows and stuff. I mean, there's obviously a few areas that, like I've gotten killed on the top of where I do my giveaways, like where I store everything. I've gotten killed on the top of there. God, I can't believe I just said that live right now. But either way, or not live, but publicly, whatever. Anyways, now everybody's going to know that you can attack me from there. Whatever.
We used to own. People got to watch out for those medium towers.
Yeah,
because people can cast lightning,
and
you'd be in the middle of that medium tower, and people can cast a bolt of lightning from the ground and still hit you.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like that.
I've got a Well, actually, Bub Rub has it, but I gave slash loaned, which means gave, a
Yeah.
medium tower. It's right next to Owen's house on that island,
Yeah.
you know. I ended up just giving him that. So, but that was a cool house. I liked it. But what are some things that you're excited about with Wildlands coming out, other than I guess Sin's gonna dominate everything? Which okay.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of ocean in
Yeah.
MPS.
What do you think about the
Um,
boat changes, man? I haven't really
dude,
talked to any boaters about it.
dude. I'm going after the one you can have 8 crew members on it. I'm gonna see
Yeah.
how fast I can do it, how fast I can get it. I have a small, I have a medium, I have a large, and I'm the only one in the guild right now who has a galleon.
Okay.
So I'm trying to, with boating, I'm trying to collect all the boats
Okay.
because I
That's
do
cool.
go fishing a lot. I do go after the fishing spots.
Yeah.
In the small boat, no one can catch me.
Right.
It's just the boats; those are so tiny. You
It's
can
like a little
just
speedboat.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, pretty
That's
much.
cool.
I speedboat everywhere, and then it's gonna be the
I
ocean
can't
stuff, man. Really, I
I
mean,
can't
it's
remember who
just
it was. I think it was Royal Purple. I don't know, man. I think it was Royal Purple, and he ran around in a pink small. And this was back in the day. And let me tell you, dude, this motherfucker, dude, I would be on my Karak, and here he comes in his little tiny pink speedboat, and he would just it was loaded out PvP and speed, right? And he would just
yeah,
pick at me, pick at me. And then like if I would shoot him a couple times, he'd be like, half life, almost dead, but he would just run off, repair, and come back and pick at me again. And there was nothing I could do but try to make it to safety. Ultimately, man, he would just kill us. He could take on 2 people at once. He was so good, and that you can't. I don't think you can really do that anymore. But he would just dominate, dude. It was terrible.
yeah. I've seen a lot of GG on the water. Not a lot of FS. Sometimes FS.
Mhm.
FS. I've seen a lot more on land
Lately, yeah,
doing
I have
boating.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
which is weird.
High Tide used to
Maybe
be a real big boating guild. I don't know if they're still out there or not.
High Tide's still around.
Yeah.
I see them in Palma a lot.
Mhm.
GLC used to be a big guild. You see them here and there. Uh, I just saw my first 2 members of BB the other day
On boats, huh?
on land
Yeah. Oh,
inside
on
of
land?
Nacero. Inside
Oh, BB
Nacero. Yeah,
BB
BB.
is, if I remember right, I'm pretty confident that they are Outland's first guild. And, back in the day, they were nothing but, like, Dexters. And, people used to be like, "Oh, the Dexter Army," or whatever.
Yeah.
And, I've been seeing quite a few BB lately. Yeah, but they've been around, but you've been out in the ocean.
Yeah, I normally do Ocean and Bosses and Omnis, and that's about it.
Yeah, I get you, man. I like boating. Maybe I'll get back into it, with the new boats. Those look like a lot of fun. I've got a really
Yeah.
good PVM boat, like a really good one, like really good. And, yeah, I used to boat quite a bit, and then I just kinda I don't know, man. The water's just all blue, which is obvious. I mean, what else would it be? But it's just like there's no change of scenery, and so I get kind of like bored to a degree. But and that's not a slam at the game by any means, because the boating system in itself is really fucking cool. It's just that I just need that change. You know what I mean? And I get it. If we were out in a boat in the ocean like pirates, it'd be nothing but blue. So it's not like I'm expecting anything different, you know? It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know. So
I
you're
try to
excited
play
about
a
what
game.
yeah.
Yeah, I try to play a game when I'm out there and I see nothing but blue, and I
Mhm.
go find a player boat
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah, well, yeah.
and I shoot toxic ammo at him and
Okay.
see how far he's willing to chase me.
Because you're on your
So
small boat, your
yeah,
speedboat. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I had one. I popped a shot off. I did hellfire on him, and it was a GG medium. And he kept up with me, but he couldn't get a shot off, and we went around the entire map at least 3 times. I had him chase me around.
Yeah.
Just because I was because I was bored. It's just, just trying to find stuff to do.
I like that. I like that. So what other games are you excited about? I know when we were, getting started here, you were finishing up playing some Forza. I know you like cars and stuff, so I mean, any other games that are coming out this year, next year that you're excited about?
No, I'm just on Outlands, Forza, or I'm on War Thunder.
What's War of Thunder?
War Thunder is about World War One and World War Two. All the tanks. It's free to play, bro. You should really download it. It's off of Steam, and it's a grind. I mean, it's a grind. I've been playing it for 3 years, and I'm not even past T4 tanks yet.
Is it a strategy game, real time strategy, turn based? What?
It's think of Call of Duty, but you're driving around on a map in a tank trying to kill the other person.
That sounds fun. Like Mech Warrior. Did you ever play Mech Warrior?
Yeah, back in the day. But this version, when you shoot the shot, right, in a small screen to your right, if you kill them, it actually shows the tank shell penetrate the other tank, and it shows you how it explodes.
That's cool.
It's really cool. It really is. It's really cool. They have like ships, boats, and planes. So it's really fun, man. I just, but mainly when I want to take a break from Outlands, I'm normally just, be honest, I'm normally out there playing with the damn car, or I'm kayaking, and that's about it.
Yeah, so. Kayaking's cool. So we got a place around here. That's like 2.5 hours northeast of me. But we go to the Illinois River. You can rent either a kayak or a tube, and it's neat. Like, you can rent a cabin, you can stay in a tent or whatever, or you can just go out there and do this. But what happens is they get you on a bus. They have a trailer that pulls however many kayaks and rafts were rented, and they drive you up the river either 6 miles or 12 miles. And they drop you off. And everybody has this ice chest of beer, and they all float down it. And there's like all these resorts all the way up the thing. So you're like seeing all these people, and sometimes it's like dead and it's very peaceful and nice. Sometimes it's a madhouse, and it's nothing but like what you would remember MTV doing Spring Break on TV. You remember, it's just like a wild party, dude. One time Beltane saw these girls in painted bathing suits when we were like 13, and it was like the coolest thing we ever saw, of course, because we were 13.
Hey.
Yeah. But
the Illinois River can be fast. I went towards the end of summer with my daughter. We went kayaking on it, and that river was moving.
Yeah.
So they dropped us off at the 12-mile mark. My daughter was so scared we didn't even make it.
It was just, I guess it goes around, obviously.
Yeah, it goes around. We entered in at Kankakee, which is in Illinois.
Yeah.
So we entered in, and the stream was so fast. Like, the guy said, you're going to do 12 miles in an hour.
Oh, boy.
You're going to go so fast. And my dad had a canoe.
Yeah, see, this is 12 hours in 8 hours, or 12 miles in 8 hours. Like, it's slow and like chill.
Yeah, no. The river was moving because it just stormed really heavy 2 days prior. So you have all the rush of the water and everything. It's just, it was really, we made it literally a quarter of a mile. My daughter literally got scared. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I got out of the canoe, and the current, man, it kicked my ass. Like, it was so strong. And I'm walking it up to the bank, and it's just, my dad's like, dude, I can't do this no more. I'm like,
that's great.
We gotta go. And my daughter's in the boat screaming. I'm like, honey, screaming is not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not gonna slow it down.
It's not gonna slow it down.
That's
we're
good.
really not gonna get there. So
So what, you guys just pulled over to the side and then they picked you up or what?
yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
okay. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, you should come to Oklahoma. It's real chill. Real chill, man. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
a party. Yeah, it's a great time. Nothing, no whitewater rapping. It's
Oh
chill.
man, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
All right,
That's
so
horrible.
I like to always ask this, man.
Yeah.
Who should be the next guest on the Pwncast?
Hmm. It's hard because there's so many great people within Outlands.
Yeah.
Um, trying to think of people that don't like to show their faces at all and try to get them to do it because that's the best part. That's the best part to actually get someone to do it. I'm gonna say two people. I'm gonna really
Yeah.
say two people.
Okay.
One person is I really like him. He told me a story of how he was a new player. He went in the squeeze. He almost quit playing Outlands if it wasn't for me
Okay.
taking him out and actually showing him how to play the game. It's Pothead.
Oh, Pothead, man. He's my buddy.
Pothead.
Yeah.
Pothead, yeah. When he first came to Outlands, he came to Squeeze. He almost quit Outlands
Uh-huh.
completely because he couldn't get it. I took him out when I was in Squeeze, man, and he told me because of you, I stayed.
That's
And now he's high up in sin, and
yeah.
I'm like, dude, hey man, I'm just here to help. I'm just here to help you guys. That's all
He
I'm gonna do.
he's a badass, man. He is a
Yeah.
badass. He does he's one of the like good players of
Yeah.
Outlands. So that's cool.
I got his roommate in my guild right now,
Oh,
Mr. Green.
really?
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Green
Yep.
is that's funny. Mr. Green is roommating with Pothead. That kind of fits.
Yeah, Mr. Green's on one side of the room, Pothead's playing Hello Kitty on his computer on the other side. So it's really great.
That's
The other
funny.
person I really want to see on your podcast is the guild leader of NDA.
NDA. Okay.
Never drink again.
Oh, well,
His
that
name
doesn't
is
fit. Doesn't fit
yeah.
here. No,
I
it's
know it
but yeah.
really does. It really
Yeah.
does. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to see him like actually talk. I heard him talk in voice one time.
Is he in your alliance or?
No, we're actually at war with him.
Oh. Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sense some drama there. Is there?
No.
No, okay, okay.
No,
Cool.
it's a part of the game that we've never experienced because we actually have PKs in the guild. We have PvPers. We're starting to do a lot of town struggles. We're starting to do stuff,
Okay.
factions, MPS. We actually are in Cambria as a
Mhm.
faction. So the guys are like, "Hey, let's go war guild." I'm like, "I got the perfect one."
That's good.
So we're gonna see what it's like. We're gonna do blood feuds. We're gonna see exactly what it's like, and we're gonna explore it all. So then, when a new player comes along and asks, like, okay, well, this is what Guild War is. This is what happens.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. Because we want to explore everything about the game in general, the server. So when
Yeah.
people come to the guild and they want to learn, we basically dang near know like server mechanics to a T, so
Yeah.
we can explain it better. Because the more knowledge you have, the more you can actually abroad other people. And a lot of people that come to this server, a lot of people don't realize it, but we have a thing in my guild called pay it forward.
Okay.
So we help someone get set up and take them out farming, and then when another new person comes in, the person that we help goes back and helps him and brings him up to speed. So everyone's just playing together. Everyone's on the same page.
That's
So
good. I like that, man. I like that. I can tell there's a lot of good camaraderie, a lot of, obviously helping new players. I mean, the guild is literally called New Player Services, and I can remember when you first started you first created it and like the mission behind it and everything. And you know, it, I'll be 1,000% honest with you, man. I get a lot of DMs throughout the day, and a lot of them, I shouldn't say a lot. Sometimes I get DMs about like, hey, I'm going to start a new guild and this and like, come join. And then, of course, I'm happy where I'm at, but
Yeah.
a lot of them don't end up sticking around and doing what they say, or they turn into a different guild of what they said, which is understandable. Things evolve and stuff happens, and there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But I really do want to commend you, and I think the rest of the Outlands community should as well, to what you've done for the new players in the community. It speaks volumes about you. You don't have to do it. You're not staff. You gain nothing from it, but you do, and I think that's really cool, man. So major
I
props to
appreciate
you,
it.
buddy. Yeah.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
so really, man, I mean that's it for it. I really not only appreciate you as a person on Outlands and part of the community, but you coming on to the Pwncast and sharing your story, man. I feel like I learned a little bit more about you. I already knew you a little bit, which is cool, but I feel like I learned a little bit more about you, and I appreciate you coming by, man.
Absolutely. I got one more backstory for you.
Let's
Now
hear
this
it.
is funny.
All right.
Everyone's gonna
Okay.
think this is funny, but this one person that's gonna watch this, hopefully he sees this. He knows
Okay. All right.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, he's giggling
So,
right now. Okay.
yeah, he is. Luke Goblin. Okay, so
Okay.
I was streaming one day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I live with my folks because we help. My grandmother's got she's got dementia, and we all help out. She comes in the background. Luke Goblin sees her and hears her voice, and you know how Luke Goblin gets.
Oh yeah, he's a character. Yeah.
So my mom puts the headset on and is talking to him.
Oh, I wish I was there.
And she's like, "Ooh, is this Luke Goblin?" Started flirting with him, started messing with him.
Yeah.
And like when I got on, Luke Goblin's like, "I'm gonna be your new daddy. I'm gonna have kids with her, and then I'm gonna eat all the kids." I'm like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" Just like it was great. You should have been there for it, but it was great. But he will know what I'm talking about because every single time I stream, or I'm in a voice channel and he comes in, he asks about my mom. He's like, "Hey, is she there? Can I talk to her? Can we talk about like wedding plans?" Like I'm just like,
that's good, man. I love it. I've seen him say that in Discord, or not in Discord, in stream before when you were there, and then he showed up and he said that, and I'm just like, okay, but now it makes perfect sense. That's hilarious. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, awesome, man. Maybe he should be on here one day. That'd be great.
Oh man, he should be all up in his costume and everything
that's how he looks. What are you talking about? That's how he looks.
No,
it's not a costume. He is a goblin. He's a goblin.
No, I know he's a goblin, but the funny part is part about his character Luke Goblin, right? His voice. That's his like he only's got to mess with his voice just a little bit. Like he's got that like actor voice that where he can change it to like multiple characters, which is a talent that not a lot of people have.
Yeah.
So it's just something that goes with his flow.
He's good, man. All right, J.Sticks. I appreciate you, my guy.
No problem,
all right.
Man.
Yep. Everybody, hope you enjoyed this episode of the Pwncast as much as I did hosting it. J.Sticks, thanks for being here, buddy. Everybody else, Pwn Star Gaming out.